Hey friends, welcome back. I am really happy you are here with me today. Maybe you are listening while walking, or sitting at home, or resting after a long day. Wherever you are, there is nothing special you need to do right now. Just relax and listen. Today we will talk about a simple idea. It is not new and it is not complicated. But it can change the way you learn English if you give it a chance. The idea is this: you do not need to wait for a class to learn English. You do not need to open a book every time. You can learn English from your normal life, from the small things you do every day. Many people study English for years, but they still feel shy when they speak. They know grammar rules. They know many words, but confidence is missing. This happens because English stays inside books, not inside life. Real English does not live only in lessons. It lives in your morning. It lives in your coffee. It lives in your walk, your shopping, your phone, and even in your thoughts. Let's start with something very simple: your morning. You wake up. You feel sleepy. Your body is still tired. You open your eyes and look around the room. In this quiet moment, English can already be there. You can think, I am awake now. I feel tired. It is morning. These are not exercises. These are real thoughts. Real thoughts are easy to remember. When you get out of bed and walk to the kitchen, you touch things without thinking. You open a door. You turn on the light. You make coffee or tea. You can say to yourself, the cup is warm. The smell is strong. I like this moment. You are not studying English. You are living. And English is simply describing your life. This is the key. English follows your actions instead of controlling them. Many learners think learning only happens when they sit down and focus very hard. But the brain learns best when it feels calm. When English feels light, your mind stays open. Now you leave your home. You step outside. The street is already full of language. People are walking. Cars are moving. Shops are opening. You can describe what you see in simple English. The street is busy. People are walking fast. The air feels fresh today. These sentences are short, but they are powerful. You do not need to sound perfect. You only need to be clear. As you move through your day, English can stay quietly in your mind. It does not interrupt you. It does not ask for attention. It appears when you notice something. If you go to work or school, you sit down and begin your tasks. You can think, I am working now. I am busy today. I am waiting for a break. These sentences describe your real situation. When language describes reality, it feels natural. Later, when you go shopping, English can follow you again. You walk into a store. You see different products. Even if everything is written in your local language, you can still think in English. This is bread. These apples look fresh. This is expensive. I do not need this today. You are adding English to your environment. Your brain loves this kind of learning because it is connected to real objects. Words are no longer alone. They have a place. During the day, you use your phone many times. You read short words again and again. Messages, notifications, settings. These words repeat naturally. Repetition builds memory. You do not need to stop and study them. Just notice them for 1 second. When you talk to people around you, English does not disappear. Later, you can remember the moment in English. We talked about work. We laughed. I felt relaxed. This quiet thinking keeps English active inside you. Sometimes you feel bored, time feels slow, nothing interesting happens. This is not a bad moment. This is a learning moment. You can think, I am bored right now. I am waiting. I want to go home. Honest sentences stay longer in your memory. Your feelings are also important. When you feel happy, you can say it. I feel happy. When you feel tired, you can say it. I feel tired. Feelings give words meaning. When you eat, taste helps learning. This is sweet. This is salty. This tastes good. Your senses help your brain remember. When you cook, actions guide language. You cut vegetables. You boil water. You wait. I am cutting vegetables. I am waiting for the food. Language moves with your hands. Later in the day, listening becomes very helpful. You can listen while walking or resting. You do not need to understand everything. Your ears learn the rhythm of English. This learning is quiet, but it is strong. In the evening, you slow down. You may watch something or sit quietly. You can think about your day in simple English. Today was long. I did many things. I am tired now. This calm thinking helps English settle. Before sleep, your mind becomes soft. Tomorrow is another day. I will try again. Learning does not need pressure. It needs time. Day after day, English feels closer. Not because you force it, but because you allow it to be part of your life. And as this way of learning becomes normal, something quiet begins to change inside you. You stop asking yourself all the time if you are learning correctly. You stop checking your level every day. English is simply there, moving with you, growing slowly without noise. When you repeat this simple contact with English day after day, your mind starts to relax. You are no longer afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes feel small now. They do not stop you. They pass, like small clouds. You may notice that you start to think in English without planning it. A word appears when you look at something. A sentence comes when you feel something. This does not happen because you studied harder. It happens because English is connected to your real life. Think about moments when you are alone, waiting in a line, sitting on a bus, standing in an elevator. These moments are often empty, but empty moments are perfect for language. You can describe what is happening around you. I am waiting. The line is long. People look tired. The elevator is slow. These sentences are simple, but they keep English active. When you feel stressed during the day, that feeling is also a chance. Stress is real. Life is not always easy. You can name it. I feel stressed. I need a break. I need some air. When language meets emotion, it becomes personal. Personal language stays. Sometimes you may feel happy for no clear reason. Maybe you finished a task. Maybe you heard good news. Maybe you just feel light. You can say, I feel good today. I feel calm. This moment feels nice. These words connect English to positive feelings. Your brain remembers positive moments very well. As time passes, you may notice that you understand more when you listen. Not everything, but more than before. You catch familiar words. You catch common phrases. You understand the idea, even if some details are missing. This is real progress. Understanding the idea is more important than understanding every word. When you listen, do not fight the language. Let it pass through you. Some parts stay. Some parts leave. That is okay. The parts that stay will come again. You may also notice that reading feels easier. Short texts feel less heavy. Messages feel clearer. You do not stop at every new word. You keep going. This flow is important. Flow helps memory. If you stop too much, the brain gets tired. If you flow, the brain stays open. Speaking also changes slowly. At first, you speak in your head. Then you speak quietly. Then you speak with more confidence. This process cannot be rushed, but it does not need force. When you speak, focus on meaning, not form. Ask yourself, did the other person understand me? If yes, that is success. Perfect sentences are not the goal. Clear communication is. You may notice that you reuse the same simple words again and again. This is good. Simple words are powerful. They carry most conversations. Native speakers also use simple words most of the time. As English becomes part of your life, you stop seeing it as a foreign thing. It feels familiar, not because you know everything, but because you are comfortable not knowing everything. Comfort with uncertainty is a sign of growth. Some days, English feels easy. Some days, it feels far again. This does not mean you are going backward. Learning is not a straight line. It moves up and down. What matters is that English stays with you, even on hard days. On tired days, one sentence is enough. I am tired today. That is learning. On busy days, one thought is enough. I am busy now. That is learning. Small contact every day builds something strong over time. Over weeks and months, you may suddenly realize that you react faster. You understand jokes. You understand tone. You feel when something sounds natural or strange. This feeling is not learned from rules. It is learned from exposure. Exposure is quiet, but it is powerful. You are not collecting words. You are building a relationship with a language. A relationship grows with time, patience, and honesty. If you ever feel lost again, return to the basics. Your life, your actions, your feelings. Describe them simply. English will meet you there. This path may look slow from the outside, but inside, something real is happening. Something stable. Something that lasts. And this is how English stops being something you study and becomes something you live with, every day, in your own natural way. As this way of living with English continues, you may stop thinking about learning as a separate activity. You do not ask yourself anymore when you will study. English is already there, quietly sharing space with your thoughts. This change is slow, but it is deep. You begin to notice details you did not notice before. Not because they are new, but because your mind is calmer. When your mind is calm, it has space. And when there is space, language fits naturally. You might be walking and suddenly describe what you see without effort. The sky looks cloudy. The street feels quiet today. People look tired. These sentences come without pushing. They come because English now feels allowed in your head. Allowed language grows faster than forced language. When you think back to the past, you may remember how English once felt heavy. You needed to prepare. You needed courage. Now, courage is smaller. You do not need much. One sentence feels possible. Two sentences feel normal. This does not mean fear disappears completely. Fear still visits sometimes. But fear no longer controls you. You continue even when fear is present. This is important. Learning does not mean feeling confident all the time. It means moving even when confidence is low. You may notice that your listening changes again. At first, you heard sounds. Later, you understood ideas. Now, you start to feel intention. You sense when someone is serious. You sense when someone is joking. You feel emotion behind the words. This is a big step. Language is not only information, it is connection. When you listen to someone speak English, you may feel closer to them, even if you do not know them. Their voice feels familiar. Their rhythm feels human. This comfort helps understanding grow naturally. Your reading also changes quietly. You do not read every word. Your eyes move faster. You catch meaning in groups, not pieces. This is how fluent reading begins. You may still meet words you do not know. This does not stop you anymore. You accept it. You move on. You trust that meaning will come later. Trust is a powerful part of learning. When you speak, you may notice that your sentences are still simple, but they are clearer. You choose words faster. You hesitate less. Your voice sounds more relaxed. You may repeat yourself sometimes. That is fine. Repetition is human. Native speakers repeat too. Your goal is not to sound perfect. Your goal is to sound real. Sometimes you may surprise yourself. You say something in English without thinking. You only realize it after. This moment feels strange, but good. It shows growth you did not plan. Growth often happens when you are not watching it. Daily life keeps giving you chances. When you plan your day, English can follow. I need to do this first. I will go there later. I should rest tonight. These sentences shape your inner voice. When plans change, English can describe that too. Plans changed. This did not work. I need another idea. Language that adapts with life becomes flexible. Flexibility is more important than perfection. You may also notice that you understand yourself better when you use English. You slow down. You choose simple words. Simple words often show clear thoughts. Clear thoughts feel good. On difficult days, English does not disappear. It stays simple. I feel tired. I feel confused. I need time. These sentences are honest. Honest language supports you. On good days, English celebrates with you. I feel proud. I did well today. This makes me happy. Language shares emotion. Sharing emotion builds connection. At this stage, English is no longer a guest. It is part of the room. It does not ask permission. It is just there. You still learn new words. You still improve. But learning feels different. It feels lighter. It feels slower in a good way. Slow does not mean weak. Slow means deep. Deep learning lasts. If someone asks you how you learned English, you may not have a clear answer. You did not follow one method. You did not finish one book. You lived. You noticed. You stayed connected. This path is simple, but it is not easy at first. It asks for patience. It asks for kindness toward yourself. But if you continue, you build something strong. Not fast confidence, but quiet confidence. Not perfect language, but usable language. Usable language changes life. You understand more. You express more. You feel less blocked. And one day, you may realize that English is no longer something you are trying to reach. It is something walking with you, step by step, in a natural way, without noise, without pressure, simply present in your everyday life. And with this quiet presence, English begins to shape how you notice the world. Not in a loud way, not by changing who you are, but by adding another layer to how you experience moments. You still live your life the same way, but now there is an extra voice that helps you observe, name, and understand things with more clarity. You may notice that when something happens, you describe it naturally in English. Not because you want to practice, but because it feels available. Something small happens, and a sentence appears. I forgot my keys. This took longer than I expected. This is better than yesterday. These thoughts are simple and direct. They fit the moment. When problems appear, English can help you slow down. You name the problem. This is difficult. I need to think. I need a solution. Naming things gives you space. Space helps you breathe. And when you breathe, your mind works better. Language is not only for communication with others, it is also for communication with yourself. You may start to notice patterns in your own thinking. You repeat certain phrases. You use the same structures. This repetition is not a problem. It is how your personal English forms. Everyone has their own way of speaking. Yours grows from your life. You do not need to copy anyone else. As days pass, you may feel more comfortable listening to longer content. At first, long audio felt heavy. Now it feels manageable. You do not catch everything, but you stay with it. Staying is important. It trains patience. Patience is a hidden skill in language learning. You may listen while doing other things. Cleaning, walking, resting. Your attention moves in and out. This is okay. The brain still learns. It picks what it needs. Some days, you may feel that nothing new is happening. Everything feels the same. This is often when learning is working quietly. Growth is not always exciting. Sometimes it is calm and invisible. If you look for strong feelings every day, you may miss real progress. Progress is often boring at first, but boring progress is stable progress. When you speak with others in English, even for a short moment, you may feel less tense. You do not rush. You take your time. You accept pauses. Silence is no longer scary. Silence is part of communication. This changes how people respond to you. Calm speech invites calm listening. You may still search for words. This is normal. Even native speakers search for words. Searching does not mean failing. It means thinking. Thinking is good. You may also notice that you understand different accents more easily. Not because you studied accents, but because your ear is flexible now. Flexibility comes from exposure, not rules. Rules have their place. But life teaches faster. Your confidence becomes quiet. You do not feel the need to prove anything. You know you can understand enough. You know you can say enough. This knowledge rests inside you. Resting confidence is stronger than loud confidence. You may notice that you choose English sometimes even when you do not have to. You watch a video without subtitles. You read a short text without fear. You listen without stopping. These choices feel small, but they show trust. Trust in yourself matters. When challenges appear again, and they will, you handle them differently. You do not panic. You return to simple things. You listen. You observe. You describe. You move forward. Returning to basics is not going backward. It is staying grounded. Grounded learning lasts. At this point, English is not something you think about every minute. It is simply part of how you move through the day. It appears when useful. It rests when not needed. This balance is healthy. You are no longer chasing fluency. You are building familiarity. Familiarity grows slowly, but it stays. And as familiarity grows, English stops feeling like a goal in the future. It becomes something present, something usable, something real. You may still have moments of doubt. Everyone does. But doubt does not stop you now. You know that learning continues even on quiet days. Quiet days matter. They are the days when language settles, organizes, and becomes yours. And so, without marking time, without counting hours, without pushing yourself, you continue. You live, you notice, you listen, you speak when needed, you stay patient. This is not a method you finish. It is a way you continue. And that is why it works. And at this point, English is no longer something you check or measure. You do not wake up asking if you improved. You do not go to sleep worrying about mistakes. The language is simply part of your inner world, calm and familiar. You may notice that when you remember the past, English sometimes appears there too. You think about something that happened before and describe it naturally. Yesterday was busy. Last week was difficult. That moment was important. Memory and language begin to work together. This connection is strong. When you imagine the future, English can also be there. Tomorrow will be better. I want to try again. I hope things change. These thoughts are quiet, but they shape confidence. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting that you can handle what comes. You may notice that English helps you slow your thinking. You choose simple words. Simple words create clear ideas. Clear ideas reduce stress. This is one of the hidden gifts of learning a language slowly and naturally. You understand that learning never really ends, and that is not a problem. It feels normal. You do not rush toward an end point. You walk at your own pace. Pace matters more than speed. When people around you speak English, you listen differently now. You are not afraid of missing something. You focus on the main idea. You read emotion. You notice tone. You realize that communication is more than words. When you speak, you accept your accent. You accept pauses. You accept small mistakes. These things no longer block you. They are part of how you speak. Your voice sounds like you. You may still want to improve. Wanting to improve is healthy. But improvement now feels like growth, not pressure. You choose content you enjoy. You listen because you like it, not because you must. Enjoyment keeps learning alive. Some days, you learn a new word without trying. You hear it. You understand it from context. You use it later. This feels natural. This is how real vocabulary grows. Words find you when you need them. You no longer chase vocabulary. Vocabulary comes to you through life. You may notice that English helps you feel more open to the world. You understand signs, messages, and voices you did not understand before. The world feels a little bigger. This does not change who you are. It adds to who you are. You understand that progress is not loud. It does not announce itself. It shows in small moments, in calm reactions, in easier understanding. Small moments matter. You may think back to the time when English felt heavy and distant. That feeling feels far now, not gone, but smaller, manageable. You know what to do when learning feels hard again. You return to life. You return to simple sentences. You return to patience. This knowledge stays with you. You understand that the most important part of learning was not the words or the rules. It was staying kind to yourself. It was allowing time. It was not giving up when things felt slow. This attitude changes everything. Now, English is not something outside of you. It is something you carry. It moves with you quietly. It does not demand attention. It supports you when needed. You do not force it. You trust it. And because you trust it, it stays. This is not the end of learning. There is no end. But this is a stable place, a calm place, a place where English feels real and usable. You live your life. English lives with you. And that is enough.